Hi, I'm Mr. Santa Maria, and I'll be giving you your first flute lesson today. We're going to be doing a couple things today. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be identifying the parts of our instrument. Then we're going to be putting our instrument together. Then we're going to be holding it. After that, we'll start making our first sound, and then we'll be putting it away and cleaning it. So the first thing that you want to do when you get your instrument is to make sure that you've got the case upright. The way that you can kind of realize that best is the latches are going to go up and out towards the top, and then you'll know that your instrument case is sitting upright. When you open your case, you're going to be seeing a couple things. The first thing that you'll see is this cloth on top. We won't need this right now, so we're going to put this to the side. And another thing that we'll be using later is this cleaning rod. It's black and it's kind of towards the bottom of the case, so I'm just going to put this aside also that I have it around for later on. So we've got three pieces to our flute here, and the one that we're going to start with is the body joint. That's the biggest one with all of the keys on it. So we're going to take this out. I would advise not grabbing it by any of the keys because we don't want to end up bending or moving anything around that's a little delicate. So grab towards either end of the flute to take care of it best. After that, we're going to take the head joint out. That's the one with the hole on it for where our mouth goes. So we're going to be holding this and just kind of gently screw in the head joint to the body like this. And we like to line up the whole of the head joint with the keys, so I'll kind of look down and see that I've got that lined up okay, so we'll be good there. Lastly, we'll grab the foot joint, and again, I'm holding the body of the flute down on the side where all the keys are, just kind of cradling it, and I will attach, you'll see one end of the foot joint has a little bit bigger end and that a little bit wider mouth, and that can fit on the end of your flute right here. And the post right here kind of lines up also with the top of the key, so I'll look down there, see that the post lines up with the key in the hole, and we'll be good there. Alright, next we're going to be dealing with holding our flute. So we're going to hold our flute upright like this. I'm going to have my left hand on top and my right hand on bottom, and we're going to be dealing with the keys in the front here that I have. We're going to skip the first key, and my pointer finger on my left hand is going to go on the next key. I'm going to skip another one, then I'm going to put down my middle finger and my ring finger, and my pinky goes on this key kind of hanging off to the side here. We're going to skip the next two in front, and I'm going to put my right hand pointer finger down there, then middle, then ring, and then followed by my pinky on the bottom ones down here. Now on the other side, there's some keys over here. We've got two right here. Our thumb is going to go on the one to the right. That's the most used key for your thumb. Once we've got our flute set like this, we're going to actually bring it up and around like so, and this is your flute playing position. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make our first sound on the flute, and actually for that we're just going to make it just on the head joint for now. So carefully, without holding on to any keys again, we're going to twist off the head joint, and I'm going to set this right on top of my case so that it's okay. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cover the end of the head joint. We're going to bring that up to our face like so. It's going to rest under your lip, and it's going to be kind of like blowing into a pop jug or a pop bottle or something like that, and you're going to blow over the hole but into it a little bit, and you kind of get a sound like this. And that sound can then transfer onto your flute, so I'm going to put it together again carefully. And without pressing any keys down, using the same motion, and you'll get a sound from your flute. Alright, so our final step is going to be putting our flute away and cleaning it. Now, cleaning it, I like to do each individual piece, so we're going to take it apart in the way that we put it together. I'm going to twist off the foot joint, twist off the head joint, and kind of put those in their spots for a moment. And then we're going to grab our cleaning rod and cloth that we set aside from earlier. So we can kind of open up the cleaning cloth and feed it through the eye of the rod. The rod will have an eye kind of like a needle, and we'll feed it through there. It's kind of about half and half. And what we're going to do is going to wrap the cloth around the rod so that as little of the rod is showing, and we're going to just kind of gently push it into each part of our instrument like so, and we'll just push it in there and then twist it around, trying to get out any condensation or spit that we might have in there from blowing into our instrument. And we'll do that for each piece. Now you may feel a little bit of resistance, and that's okay. We just don't want to have to jam anything in there, so I'm making sure that it's tight but not too tight, and that way we can really get all the edges as best we can. And then for the body joint, it would probably be best to do it from either side. So I do it from one end and then gently twisting around like so. And then go from the other end, using that same twisting motion, making sure we get everything out of there. And then finally putting it back in our case. When we're done with this, we'll just take out the cloth out of the rod, put the rod gently in the place where it's supposed to be. It might be tempting to put it somewhere else in the instrument case because it might fit a little bit easier, but make sure you put it in the little slot that they have for it, because you might end up bending your instrument if you don't put that rod where it's supposed to. And finally, folding this cloth back on top of the case, closing it, make sure it's latched. There's been a lot of times my students have forgotten to make sure their instrument's been latched, their case, and we've had a couple tumble things outside, and that's no good. So once we've got everything latched and good to go, you are all set to put your flute away somewhere safe where you make sure no one's going to mess with it, including any little brothers or sisters.